Hey, good afternoon, everybody, from the Storm Track 5 Weather Center. Chief Meteorologist Dave Dierks with meteorologist Kit Alexander. Well, the snow has arrived, Kit, and the temperatures are generally below freezing, which has resulted in some slippery roads.
That is certainly the case. So these are areas we're all under a winter storm warning through tonight into tomorrow morning. So the accumulating snow, it is here, like you mentioned, Dave.
Take a look at this.
Some of these conditions. Woo,
this is Elizabethton. Boy, here, downtown Elizabethton, we've got some heavy snowfall, and you can see the roads are definitely taking on some snow. So be cautious out there. Be careful. Snow coming down hard. Also in Greene County, Tusculum University. And that, we've been noticing that for a little while now.
Yeah, this is an area where we actually had a heavier band earlier that was pushing through Knoxville. Well, it progressed and finally got into Tusculum, bringing some of those heavier snowfall rates.
Maybe an hour and a half ago, there was nothing on the ground. So we got some snow accumulating. Here's some of our higher elevation cams. There's downtown Norton. There's Emory and Henry Health Sciences Department in Marion. Irwin getting a good snow now here at the downtown area, and also up in the higher elevations of Carter County now, Cloudland High School. We've got some snow falling as well. So roads taking on some snow. Look at Tennessee's oldest town, huh, kid?
Yeah, and just a heads up too, you see some of the snowy conditions here around downtown Jonesboro. So we were out earlier in the storm tracker, and I will say, as the snow started to progressively get heavier in parts of the Tri-Cities, those side roads, some of those areas where you see a lot of snowpack, it's actually quite slick out there. I've already been on it today with the storm tracker, and we see it here. Here's Virginia Highlands.
And you can see, this is a main road here, Lee Highway there, coming by the airport in Washington County, Virginia, definitely taking on some snow. Picking up also in Pennington Gap here next to the Lee Theater downtown. Looks like roads are wet, but it had been kind of a lull here for a little while in parts of Lee County. Snow just beginning to pick up again as well. And let's take a look at a major thoroughfare here, Interstate 81, Exit 5, Bristol, Virginia. Looks like perhaps mainly just wet, but I bet there's some slush on some of those interstates as well.
I would not doubt that. I know that
some snow on some of them as well.
Most definitely. I know VDOT has been, of course, working the road conditions, and so has TDOT. But even with that, the temperature's been so cold, keep in mind here, temperature has been about 28, 27 degrees or so. So a lot of this is still kind of, like you said, it is slushy, but there's still some accumulating snow, even falling on
especially when it comes down like this in Kingsport. This is the field here. There's Dobbins Bennett, and we've got some snowy conditions on Fort Henry Drive and Eastman Road. Folks heading home from work, I imagine, early here in Kingsport, because it's coming down really hard, and some slick roads definitely developing. Northeast State here near the airport in Sullivan County.
Yeah, I have no doubt that airlines are being impacted with this, not just with us, but keep in mind, this system is so large, it's actually progressing through Atlanta, and it's not typical to have a good snow system for areas like Atlanta, but they have 2 to 3 inches. So Hartfield, Jackson, definitely impacted by this. We have Delta flights that go to Atlanta. No doubt about it. With this snow system that's all across the Southeast, air flights are being impacted.
And, of course, it's not only, Southern Appalachian or Atlanta, but much of the Southeast. I mean, Nashville, Memphis, all the way toward the eastern part of Virginia and the Carolinas impacted by this storm as well. And we'll wrap up here as far as the cameras are concerned with Johnson City. This is our Ashley Camera Network, of course, Holiday Inn Cam. Here's Interstate 26, and we got Roan Street right here, and definitely the off-ramp coming down here. Looks like it's beginning to take on some snow. And imagine Interstate 26 with this kind of snow falling right now is also patchy and perhaps slick in spots as well. So slow down and take it easy out there. Here's what's got, as far as the temperatures now, we're still below freezing in the Tri-Cities.
27 degrees out there, of course, factoring the wind chill, feels like 22. The dew point, it took it a little while. We had that dry air earlier at the surface, so it did take some time, but we eventually moistened that column all the way down to the surface, and
voila, there you go, jinx. Anyway, and it's interesting to note, Kit, we have not been above freezing. On Monday, I think that front came through. We were above freezing around lunchtime at noon. Then we dropped below freezing. We haven't been above freezing in the Tri-Cities since about midday on Monday. Looks like we're not going to do it today either. So we may have to wait until either tomorrow afternoon. We might get up above a smidgen above freezing, possibly, but we may have to wait until Sunday afternoon before we actually see that above freezing temperature.
Got that right.
Temperature now below freezing now everywhere. Interesting that Roan Mountain is at 31, so we do have a little nose of warmer air aloft that has been kind of coming in from the south, and that may try to produce a mix of some wintry weather, especially south of the Tri-Cities into areas of southeast Tennessee, maybe toward the Cumberland Plateau. But we'll have to keep an eye. Maybe a wintry mix developing in spots later for at least a short period of time.
And that's something, of course, that I know you'll be touching on during the shows. Perhaps that warm nose of air kind of impacting totals for some of us, which I know you'll detail out where we'll experience that.
So here's radar. You can see some areas in the darker blue shading here across where we've seen on those cameras here through the Tri-Cities, some of the heavier snow, and we've seen a bit of a break across parts of Southwest Virginia. Generally generally some light snow, but the heavier snow shower here from south of Abingdon, Lebanon toward Abingdon and Marion. But there's perhaps a little bit of a mix toward Crossville. But we're seeing the wave continue to push eastward, which will likely keep that snow in the area as we go through the evening, and probably taper off some as we get through the overnight hours.
Yeah, I just want to briefly touch on something. You see some of these darker blues showing up. Some of these are showing up on radar right now are approximately around 40 dBz. That just translates out some of these snowfall rates up to about an inch and possible, at least in spots,
Right.
up per hour. So an incredible amount of snowfall rates. Of course, you notice we'll be continuing with those snow showers into the overnight.
This is at 1 o'clock, and it looks like we may start to see the steadier snows break up a little bit and transition into more of a scattered snow shower flurry event toward morning. Still some snow showers in the Tri-Cities, but I think as we head toward midday on Saturday, temperatures still not above freezing, but the snow shower coverage will probably be more in the mountains as we go through midday and into the afternoon on Saturday. But take a look. We probably won't get super cold tonight, but we probably will stay below freezing. So be careful on those roads.
That's certainly true. Definitely take it careful and take it slow on those roadways.
Yeah, because we do have some slick roads. Definitely, we'll be tracking snow totals, looking into that weekend forecast, as well as join us on News 5 starting at 5 p.m. We've got live shots. We're going to be covering all the bases. Casey's going to be in the storm tracker. We've got Janya Nordello. She's going to be, I forgot where she's going to be. She's going to be in Bristol, isn't she? Is that right? Ethan's shaking his head.
Right.
We got Natalie Hillen, and she's going to be in Johnson City, and meteorologist Teresa Carter is going to be somewhere in Southwest Virginia. I'm not sure. I think we're going to head toward the Abingdon or Marion area with that live shot. So we'll have all the bases covered, and we'll have the latest on what we expect tonight and all the on the snowstorm that's heading our way, and we'll continue to move through the area through the evening and overnight. But for now, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dave Dierks with Kit Alexander. Y'all have a good night. Stay safe. We'll see you at 5 o'clock.